got you. What we're going to do now is, obviously, I think everybody over this weekend is kind of getting to know everybody. So I want you to say, we want to let people know what you're doing, so your name, and then we're going to come back with some insight. Name, where you currently live, in what year within this era you were in Jackson.
Your name, where I live,
Yeah, charity.
My name is Terry Sand. I live in Ridgely, Mississippi, and
What year were you here?
I was here in 75 to 77.
For now, this past time.
Jeff Gross. I live in Brick, New Jersey. I was here in 75, half of 77, and 78.
Stan Huff. I was here in 1977, 78, and we had the flood in 79, but it was in the Taiwan. And then I was here in 1980. I lived in Waco, Texas. What do you want to say? You got something you need to say?
Kim Seaman, I'm from Pascagoula, Mississippi. I'm from 1978.
Mike Howard, live in Gluckstadt, Mississippi now, and I was here in 79 and 80.
Right now, open mic. All right, we're going to go down. If you got any good stories you want to share, the mic is yours. Terry, come on. You guys, you have anything? Jeff?
Well, those who were here with us knew we didn't have a bathroom on the bus. So when we went on those 20-hour road trips to Texas, we would drink beers and we wouldn't pull the bus over and stop for us to pee unless there were 8 or more guys who had to go to the bathroom. So we became very adept at peeing in cans and throwing them out the window and yell, "Grenade!" Sorry, it was a bus stop, right? And one other thing that happened was weird. When I got sent down from Tidewater in 77, my first son was born. And I remember one day I'm pitching and I look and first thing he was behind home plate with soap with his mother. Like, pull back out for the second inning and he's down the left field line with somebody, right field line. Every time I came out of the mound, he was with somebody different. I'm like, thank God we're in Mississippi, because in New Jersey, someone would have abducted me.
Okay, this is, okay, when we came to Jackson, there's Dan Smith, okay, who is a fisherman. There's me and Dave Coker, okay, we like to go fishing. But Dan was over the top of this fishing. Okay. Anyway, Bob Bowman told Dan he couldn't catch a cold in a windstorm, and much less a fish. So Dan took that personally, okay? So we get to Jackson, we go fishing, we catch these fish, next thing you know, these aren't big enough. Well, these kids that took us out to this residential lake had 2 8-pound bass in the freezer. Dan gets, "Hey, can I have these fish?" He goes, "Yeah, I'm gonna stick these under Wellman's nose and tell him, look what I did." Okay, so this happens. These fish, the scales were coming off, the eyes were bugging out of them. They were old, they were peeling off. I said, I don't know how we're gonna get through this, but we did. We get here, we thaw these things out, and in this summer in Jackson, they stunk. We go in the clubhouse, and the first thing Bob says is, "Where'd you buy those?" Well, he's caught us. So now we caught these. So we showed them all the field crew guys come in and look at them in the clubhouse. Judy Shue, who was the business manager, one of the business managers there, came in. She ran out. Next thing you know, we got the guy with Field and Stream coming in to do a So Cobra, myself, and Tammy, we were already in uniform. Are we gonna lie about this? We're going to tell the truth. Because I want to tell the truth and get this over with. And well, they looked at each other and said, we're going to lie. Well, okay, we get in there and they take this picture. We're out in the dugout. We got these two big fish, and you could tell in the picture, the newspaper picture, they were old. And here I am standing there like one of the culprits. And the guy did a story, and we told him where we caught them. You don't usually do that when you're fishing. But where we caught them, what we used, the whole bit, Dan went off on how to do it and all this. He really took this thing and ran with it. Well, I felt bad about that the whole time. We told a big fish story, and it was big. Two 8-pound fish stories. And the next spring training, Dan Smith comes up to me and goes, all right, I got to confess, this is down my chest. We got to talk. So we went in the coach's room right there at Payson Complex. And all the coaches there, we busted in on the meeting. Dan Smith said, I got something to admit to you. And Bob Wellman, right out, he said, you didn't catch those fish, did you? I said, no, I can't get them to me. We just told them we got to call it live. And I've been looking for that headgum story, and I couldn't find it in the paper. I'm going to bring it here and show it to everybody. I apologize, I couldn't find it. Anyway, okay, that's enough.
I will go back now. But you got to understand here, I'm innocent of all this. I'm from San Francisco originally. I had some wild, crazy friends out in San Francisco. They wanted to come see me one year here, so I said, come on, pass on through. So as they were coming through and stopping to visit, they brought me a bag of marijuana. Now, I don't smoke it, I don't use it or nothing like it, but they were that crazy. I said, what are you guys doing, you know? So I took it and I stuck it in my golf bag. And I forgot all about it. I just said, I'm not doing it. So anyway, we have an off day here. Larry Pruitt, I don't know if anybody remember Larry Pruitt, picture, crazy guy also. He came to me and said, don't you have a set of golf clubs? We want to go out and play golf. I said, sure, you can use them. Go ahead, take them. So I gave him the club, didn't think nothing about it. And at the end of the day, he brought them back and he said, man, that was the best round of golf I've ever had. I said, why? He said, well, there was an empty bag in my golf bag. So he said, next time you get some more, let me know about the bar clubs again. So it's a true story.
The rest is century. Hey, bro, the rest is century. Thank you, guys.
Before you come up, show of hands, how many guys played here in 80? 80. Okay, good. 81. 81, come on up.
Man,
Yeah.
do you still have that Corolla?
No. He was quick though.
My name is, I'm Ted Davis, live in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and was here in 81. I got traded in 81, and is it okay to talk now? Yes. I got traded in 81, and it was my first year of marriage, and my wife was here. So 41 years.
You just reminded me of something. So when you come up, if your wife is here, introduce her. Good job.
Rick McMullen, played in 81, 82, and 83. Grew up in Meridian, Mississippi. Was fortunate enough I played Legion ball and high school ball on the field across the parking lot. Played Smithville in high school, and was fortunate enough to come and play here. Best time of my life. And when you talk about family and brotherhood, it's a true brotherhood, and wouldn't take anything for being here for this during this time. So anyway, my wife Stacy is here, and she's heard all the stories and they're able to share this and meet everybody. So I live in New Orleans now.
My name is Rick Poe.
and I'm from Benton, Arkansas. This is my wife, Kimberly, right there. I was here in 81, 82, part of 83. Got a bunch of buddies up there.
Any story?
Big Cleveland's got.
Story time? We'll come back. Go ahead.
Rusty Tillman, my wife is Terry. We live in Jacksonville, Florida, and I'm glad to be here. I'm telling you, it's like, well, we'll tell that later. Thanks for having us here.
Okay, so when Mike said, tell a story, if it's funny, funny. So my story is Pam Postman. How many of you guys have Pam?
Oh.
She was. Hey, so this didn't happen in Jackson. This happened in El Paso in '81. We were there, and between the two teams, there was at least 15 players thrown out. Between Pam and Larry, her friend, and so it was. Pam was an interesting umpire because she couldn't see the outside corner. So Ron Reynolds he's a pretty good sized guy. She would stand behind too far and she couldn't see the outside corner. So as a pitcher, we loved her because that outside corner was ours. So,
Yeah.
Hey, don't do that. I'm not going to really tell a story because it's not legal. But, for my time playing here was really special for us because, we had the guys behind us pushed us to even get better, which is some of them in the room now, because we knew what was coming. And I think that was Davey Johnson's first year here with us. And, he was the kind of guy that we really wanted to play for. He was the players' coach that we'd go out and really do whatever we had to do to win. And I remember, that night we won the championship. And, we got our little cheap champagne in the clubhouse. And I think I had a little bit too much. And that's when, the wives and stuff, they all in the clubhouse celebrating and stuff. And I think I was on another bottle, and I just turned around real hard and cracked his wife in the head with the bottle. Now, we have the high draft picks coming up behind us. I'm thinking that's going to be my last time playing professional ball. And it made me feel good because he said, you should have hit it harder. And that's a true story, but it's good to be here.
How many of you guys remember Dave Von Olen?
Oh, yeah.
What did he always say? Great heat. Remember that? New York? This is a Pam Postman story. That's the punchline. You fill it in. She was having an off day. And our dugout was encouraging her how bad of an off day she was having. And she got a belly full. And she yanked that mask off and she came over to our dugout and she says, I don't want to hear another word out of this dugout. And I don't know who it was, and it wasn't me, but someone said, get your head out of our dugout. And she says, I'll put my head anywhere I want to. And Dave Von Olen said,
Hey, that same Junior Roman? That was a Pam Postman story. He got thrown out of the game, picked up third base, and took it into the locker room.
Oh, God.
Rusty, what year is this? 81. If anybody like to see Rusty celebrating, there's the first-hand witness of it. All right, thank you, guys.
Look at that.
82, I know we have a bunch of 82.
Got it.
82, come on up.
I've seen that show.
There's some carryovers from 81. Well, there's some 81.
I'm Scott Dye. Was here in 1982. Reside in beautiful Atlanta, Georgia. And that's the closest I've gotten to a World Series win. So I'm glad to be here.
Thanks, Scott. Thanks, Rusty. Darryl Strawberry. I live in St. Louis, and it's good to be here. No, I just want to say I don't have any jokes, but I just like to say thanks to Con Maloney and his family, and all that you guys have meant to the Jackson Mets. Thanks for all the TVs, because I just believe the fact that he was telling me he really thought no one can hit home runs in this ballpark. So that was the story coming here. Nobody can hit them out consistently. So he always said, if you hit one, I'll give you another television. So we had a lot of fun together. And just thanks to all of you that are here that have come back, for this event. I was really excited about coming back to Jackson. Jackson brought some real great memories about playing baseball. I was able to go on and achieve a lot of great things at the major league level, but these type of reunions like this are so important to the players that went through the minor leagues together. I see so many guys, Jay, Barry, Rusty, Rick, just Calvin, Girardi, just so many of us, whoever I missed, when you go through the minor leagues, I think people don't really understand the importance of a brotherhood. More than the major leagues. I think, we all want to get to the major leagues. Bob Sykes, the trainer, Larry here, you want to get to the major leagues, but at the major league level, you're kind of on your own. It's a different game, once you get to that level of playing. But the minor leagues were so important for the Mets because of all the great players that we had coming through this organization. This was the #1 organization, with players in the development and what the organization did. So, I just want to say congratulations to all you guys that have had the opportunity to play here in Lynchburg and be a part of the Mets organization. It was really cool to, be able to be a part of an organization. It was just like a family. And I'm really thankful for the fact that I really had a chance to play in this organization in the minor leagues. And, it meant a lot to me, and it just meant so much to me to come back here. Jackson was really a fun place for me. I remember playing in Lynchburg, and I came close to quitting, and I came to Jackson the next year, and the team that we had some really cool guys, and the brotherhood was just unbelievable. Mike, thank you for just being the way you and Patty were to everybody. You took care of everybody. So thank you guys for all that you've done and accomplished here in Jackson, Mississippi. I became a baseball player when I played here in the Texas League. That's when I became a baseball player. Thank you.
I just want to, I think most of you might know the stats. In 1982, Darryl came here as a 19-year-old player.
Wow.
All he did that year was hit 34 homers, driving 97 runs. How many stolen bases did he have? 45. How many? 45 stolen bases. Not a bad year, I'd say. And then, so we were looking at Billy Bean's numbers and Terry Blocker's number, and they really didn't equal up to Darryl's. So, Darryl, thanks. Now, 80, we're going to combine a few. Sam's already nervous over there, but 83, 84, and 85. Come on up. And if you've already been up here, you don't need to come back, but Calvin, come on up. Sam? You're coming up. Yeah, you had something to do with 2 of the years. Yeah.
Maybe you ought to let Sam sit for a while.
Everybody here just wanted to see Sammy. That's why they're all here. Okay, Barry, you're first.
Well, it's so many stories that came from being a member of the Jackson Nets, and it all started with this family right here, the Maloney family. They made everyone feel like a part of their family, and I'll forever be grateful for that. But I'm Barry Lyons. I'm from Biloxi, Mississippi. Played college ball at Delta State University, which is in North Mississippi, for those that don't know a whole lot about Mississippi. But
you can point to Blue Ferris.
All right, thank you, Mike. But my time here actually began in 1982 when I was drafted by the Mets. My first thought when I got that call was, wow, I get to play in Jackson. Because being from the coast, playing college ball in North Mississippi, being a member of the Jackson Nets was certainly something that all of us wanted to do. And as an 18-year-old player, we were here in the state championship for American Legion Baseball when I came to the Jackson Nets. First game I ever went to, professional game. And 6 years later, I became teammates with some of those guys. So I just give God the glory and thank him for my time as a baseball player. And certainly my time here in Jackson has been truly a blessing. And I did live here for a few years in the off season, and just cherish these memories. But our team had a lot of great talent. We had a lot of fun. Sammy was a great manager, and the fan support here was outstanding. So I don't necessarily have any humorous stories to share with you. There's plenty that I could, but we got a lot of guys here to speak. But my heart is in Mississippi, and being able to play professional baseball in my home state was a blessing that I'll always be thankful for. Thank you. In the 1985 season, which was an amazing year for us, we won both halves of the division, and we swept the Cardinals, Little Rock team, in the first round. And it was mentioned earlier, we swept El Paso. And it was a 7-game series. In order to save travel, the league agreed to play the first 3 out in El Paso, and then games 4, 5, 6, and 7, if necessary, would be here. Well, we won 3 games out in El Paso, and we came home, traveled back on an off day, and Sunday night, I got a call from Joe McElvain, and he says, you're going up to Tidewater tomorrow, playing the AAA playoffs for the Tidewater team against the Columbus Clippers, the Yankees AAA, for the Governor's Cup. And I said, no, I'm not. I said, we're winning the championship here tomorrow, and I've got family coming in town, and I ain't going. And needless to say, he convinced me otherwise. I did not want to go, but it was a blessing to play in the AAA series. But I was playing the AAA game in Columbus, Ohio that night, but my heart was here in Jackson. And then to conclude that story, that game was taken away from me, a championship. But to show you how God works, I made the Major League team the next spring for the 1986 New York Mets. And we concluded spring training with an exhibition game here in Jackson that had an amazing crowd. It was an amazing event. And all that family and many, many more came up from the coast to be there for my first day as a big leaguer. So memories just flood my mind and flood my heart, and I'm just so thankful. Thank you.
I'm Sam Perlazzo. I was here in 84 and 85, and my wife Beth is sitting right over here. in the game as it is. I had 26 consecutive years in the major leagues, and then I lost the job and never could get another one back. So I'm still unemployed. But we had a great organization at that time in the series. As Straw had said, we had talent top to bottom all the way. It was one of those things where it worked in cycles, and we had tons of good players all the way up. For myself, we won 2 championships here, but nobody could compete with my coaching staff. It was myself, my pitching coach, and the Maloney boys. They were in my dugout more than I was. That's why we won, right? Especially in extra inning ball games, it was 12th, 13th inning. Here they come, 3 of them march right straight through the dugout, giving out candy bars, and I was supposed to watch that and manage the game. It seemed to work out fairly well, though. We had a great time. As I look down the line here, I'm going to save anything I might possibly save until I hear some of these.
Yeah, good plan, good plan.
Just all you guys, your best sample house stories, all right? he gets the mic last. That's all I'm telling you.
Hi, I'm Bill Latham. It's my wife Trish of 40 years, sitting right over there. Halfway point of '83, I came up from Lynchburg, so I was here the second half of '83 and then began the season in '84, about the first month or so, and then went to Tidewater. But I just retired after 40 years in baseball. Never left baseball, so went straight from playing, pitching coach at the Mets for 9 years, and then went to Major League Scouting for the Mets, and then Red Sox and Dodgers. And like the other guys, I always want to thank the Maloney's. We'll date ourselves here, but every one in my family had their first VCR. We're dating a little bit on that. But I appreciate everybody and really enjoyed being here.
I'm Joe Graves, my wife Heather. I was here in 1984 and 1985. We won championships both years, and it was amazing. Sam was great to play for. Story. The only story I've got about Sam was we were coming back from Tulsa on about a 12-hour road trip, and Bonnie here and I, we were sitting about the 4th seat back, and our bus driver, Sonny, was not on that trip. We had a fill-in who had put a radar detector in the bus, and it was about 2 o'clock in the morning, and we weren't asleep, everybody else was, and I started whistling like a police car, just real quiet. And the bus driver slowed down a little bit and he looked around. And then he picked it back up again. I sat there a minute and whistled again, and he slowed down again. And then he started talking. I guess he was talking to Sam, because Sam was in the front seat. He never turned around. And he said, I don't see you. You must be on the other side of the highway or something. So I whistled again, and there was still some murmuring. About that time, I reached up over top and got the radar gun down. It had a little thing you could plug in the side. And so we slouched down in the seat, and I whistled again. I aimed that radar gun at his radar detector, and I pulled the trigger, and that thing went off like a Christmas tree. The bus went, boom, slowed down, rolled over to the right lane, and Sam never turned around. He said, "Graves, Bond, put that radar gun." You couldn't get that over. Not to drag on, but I got one more story that was requested by Brownie here. Another one coming back from Tulsa. We had 2 really good spitters on our team. Calvin could spit a long ways for a long time, and so could Kevin Brown. Well, Brown was sitting by the window. Bonnie said he had to jump off and pee. He couldn't get out quick enough. So Brown and I talked a little bit. We let Bonnie get down. He got down right beside the window under where Kevin Brown was sitting. I went out of the bus, and I let Dwayne get finished peeing. And so I was standing there staring off into the stars in the dark, pretending I was peeing. Kevin was up there spitting all over him from above the window. Dwayne goes, "What are you doing? You're pissing all over me." He was trying to re-pee back, he didn't have nothing left. It was so funny, so he started slugging me. That was just about a typical day of our season. Now you can have Dwayne.
Oh, that was funny. Well, there's too many stories to talk about, but I was here in 83, 84, and 85. My name is Dwayne Vaughn. See, I'm right here. Dwayne Vaughn, the only one that forgot their name tag. I did meet my wife Kimberly here, and I think she's from Mississippi. So we come back a lot, and we'll come by and see Con and Eddie and Johnny and all them, and I've got 2 or 3 VCRs and TVs from you guys too. I'll catch one in Vicksburg on the way out of the state. But I mean, it can't be any better than playing in Jackson. I mean, I was fortunate enough to get to the big leagues with the Texas Rangers, but that wasn't the Mets. It was Texas. It wasn't the Mets. So I'm like, when you get to the big leagues, it's supposed to be like the guys I played with. And no offense, they were good, but I don't know if they were good enough to beat our teams in Tidewater, and maybe some of ours in Double-A. I'm sorry for some Rangers here, but they were good. But I was spoiled. I was spoiled here, playing for Sammy all those years, and Cumbie and them, and only being 6'1", I'm a baseball card. You could lie back then. But anyway, Sammy gave me the ball, and I got to pitch, and beating El Paso 4 straight was sweet. And then the year before, beating Beaumont, that was sweet. And I don't know. It was just a great time here, and I see Marilyn. Hi, Marilyn. Marilyn Hetrick's here, and Bill Hetrick's here too. Yes. And, recently Jeff Ennis. Jeff's watching. He wanted to be here so bad. But, Bill and Carrie and I, we got this thing started 3 years ago. We had no idea COVID was coming, and we got a lot of heat for shutting it down, but I'm glad we put it back together. And I couldn't do it, and Bill couldn't do it, and I asked Carrie, I'm a landman, oil and gas, so I can find anybody in here's name. I said, Carrie, do you got the time? And she says, yeah, I've got the time. So Carrie, that's why when you see her posts, okay, today's the A's, tomorrow's the B's, she could find everybody. And it was amazing what Carrie Kendall had done.
Unless their name was Joe Smith.
Unless your name's Joe Smith. But we're so glad, Bill did all he could to put this thing together. And I'm so sorry I can't be here. And it was just great to see all you guys. Really great. And Jay Tibbs drove in today. He couldn't make it. He has business. But he has to drive back right after this. 5 hours. But Jay Tibbs is here. I appreciate that. So anyway, that's all I have to say. There's too much I could say, but Bill and Joe were 2 of my very first roommates, and I love them like brothers. So, and a lot of you other guys too. So anyway, that's it. Thanks.
How are you? I'm Jay Tibbs. I'm kind of treating this as a Lynchburg Met reunion. I was there 81, 82, 83, 80, 79. So no. Anyway, it's just good to see everybody. I've been thinking about. I was thinking about the talent that we had here with the Mets, and when you were a pitcher coming up in the Mets farm system, you had a lot of competition. And everybody threw hard. Everybody was good. And I think the best thing for my career was I got traded out of the Mets organization to go to somebody else that gave me an opportunity to play. But I started the year in 84 here with the Mets, and it was brief, but I kept moving up in the right direction. So it was just fun to see everybody. So I don't have any really big stories. So I wasn't here very long, but I have some great stories. I just can't tell you with some of the guys that we have. I told Daryl when I first got here. I remember we started out in Kingsport, Tennessee, when we were first drafted. If you know anything about Kingsport, Tennessee, the first thing I remember, if you remember the ballpark that we played in, I said, my gosh, my high school field was nicer than this field that we're playing on. And I was supposed to be playing professional baseball. But anyway, but Daryl was like a string bean. I remember the people drawing strawberries on the field and everything. But it was great. Those are memories that you do remember, like Daryl was saying. These are the times you really cherish. So thank you for letting me come back and be a part of Jackson. It wasn't very long, but thanks to you guys and the memories that y'all gave. So thanks.
I'm Mark Lockenmeyer. I'm from San Francisco, and I brought my son Ben along with me. I told a lot of stories, and Ben really didn't believe them, so I had to bring him here. Trust and verify. So Ben, it's real. It's real. I had a unique experience. I was with the Tigers, got released in spring training. I was down and depressed. I drove around all the spring training facilities, couldn't get a tryout. Finally, the Mets gave me a tryout on Easter Sunday. And I struck out the side in an A-ball game in some field way out there in Payson. And the next day I called them up and they said, get your ass down here. You're going to Columbia, South Carolina. And I met Bill Blackwell. And Bill said to me, Mark, you're replacing a guy that has a hernia, Craig Weissman. He'll be better in a month. Don't sign a lease. So I was living on a couch with another guy, and by serendipity or luck, I had a super first half, and I was relieving for Randy Myers, because he'd go 3 innings and throw 120 pitches. He'd have a 7-1 lead, and I'd get a nice win pitching 2 or 3 innings. And so halfway through the season, I got called up, and my buddy Dwayne Vaughn got called down. And I moved into his apartment, and the Mets were fabulous. They embraced me right from the start. When I went to Columbia, I had never been to spring training. I didn't know anybody, but the guys were my teammates from day one. And Bill made that happen, and we had great chemistry there. We had a great team, and I moved on to Jackson. It was the same way. And I was playing for Bob Schaefer, and we went to the finals. We had a tough time. We lost some guys. We lost in the finals, but it was a tremendous experience. And then the next year I came back, same thing. We had a great team with Sam. Sam was good enough to start me against the U.S. Olympic team, which was a great experience for me. And my mom and my dad came down, so it was fabulous. My one thing when I was pitching in '84, I had a start. I'm in the locker room, kind of getting juiced up, ready to go. Everybody's outside taking BP, doing stuff. And Roger McDowell comes running into the locker room, jumps in the bathroom, and starts throwing up. And he's throwing up, and he's throwing it up. I go, Raj, you okay? Raj! And he kept throwing up. I ran out and got Sam McCrary. Sam, something's wrong with Roger. Something's wrong with Roger. Finally, Roger comes out with a big shit-eating grin on his face. He goes, I just won the chicken eating contest. 27 pieces in 3 minutes. Con, we didn't have a chicken eating contest after that, did we? And my Sam Perlazzo story is, we're towards the end of the season, we're on the Blue Goose. We're coming back from a long road trip. Everybody's sleeping, and a couple guys are awake, and there's the bathroom situation. There's no bathroom on the Blue Goose. So a guy named Randy Moose Milligan had to go to the bathroom, and he's trying to maneuver his hose into like a little bottle. And unfortunately, he peed on Billy Bean's arm. Billy woke up, saw Moose with the fire hose, saw the pee all over his arm, and a big brawl ensued. The whole bus was piled up with guys. Nobody knew what happened, but everyone was throwing punches at one another. So Sam had to come back to the back of the bus. He pulled everybody out. We all had a line up. What the hell was going on out there? So finally they fessed up. We got there. Sam goes, first of all, you guys, go to the bathroom now. So we peed on the side of the road. We get back in the bus and Sam goes, that's it. No more beer on the bus. And that was it. No more beer. And it was a pretty fun time, and it was a great season in '84. We won it, and thanks.
My name is Kurt Lundgren. I played here in 85, 86, 87. I'm just outside New York. I don't have really any stories. I would say thank you, Sam, for letting me play for you. The Maloney's and Mike Fader and Bill Hedrick for treating us like a family. Fans for right here for being great. The other thing I got to say is today I realized I owe two people up here an apology. I really have to. Dwayne.
Who's up? Who's up?
No, just come out. Just come out. I gotta say something. Okay. Don Clendenin. Can I come back? Can I come back in?
You're back in the club.
Okay. Vote.
You're in.
Okay.
You're in.
I feel so much. Okay.
My name's Kevin Brown, and I'm from Baltimore, Maryland, and I was here the first half of '85. Don't have any repeatable stories here, so I'm going to pass it over to Calvin.
I'm Calvin Shirley. I was here in '83 and '84, and this Jackson is kind of my second home. My wife is from Jackson. We've been married for 37 years. When I signed out of Texas, I came straight to Jackson, and I didn't know anything about anything having to do with Mississippi or anything like that, so it was kind of a culture shock for me. But I got used to it, and went down to Lynchburg. The next year came back, and that's when I met my wife, and roomed with Von Olis and Billy and Ed at Mike Howard's house. We rented that for the season. But one of the things I don't have a funny story, but I was thinking when they came up with this deal to have this reunion, it's kind of it was different for me because of '86. So I was actually petrified about coming here. I've known the Maloney's for a long time, and saw Con when my son was playing through here. But I had apprehension about coming here, and I'm glad I did. Being able to see all these guys again. It's been something really special. I don't know, I consider Jackson my second home, but I was thinking when Straw was talking, the baseball brotherhood is more powerful than things you go through in life and stuff like that. When you can sit and just bullshit with guys that you haven't seen a lot of these guys in 35, 40 years, but it's like we've known each other for that long. It's like we've been talking on the phone or meet yearly. I mean, this is the first time I've seen a lot of these guys in 30 plus years, and it's been really special. And I just want to thank everybody for being here, and thank all the guys for coming up. Thank you.
Bill Fultz from Linden, Alabama. Big population's down. I left. There's 3 left. I would like to say, you're only as good as your team. And I was very fortunate to be a part of this group. Very good teammates, very good folks. I really enjoyed it. Con, thank you for the opportunity. I'm in sales because of Con. Con walked up to me one day in Texas and said, you really are full of shit. You need to take that bag of shit. Appreciate it. I've done really well with it. But another Con story was in the outfield today. Calvin and I was standing in the outfield. He was telling the pitchers here, we couldn't hit. So probably remembers this. He said, $100 for the first pitcher hits a home run. And Calvin was he was supposed to be the lead for that because he could hit. I got fortunate I was on the mound that night. And everybody appreciated those rounds of betting his elbow. Thank you.
Well, good evening. My name is Ed Smoke Pruitt, and I
and I'm telling you guys, my brother and I had a bet, and I am here with my brother, my baby brother, Raymond. Absolutely, he's a lot taller. If I had his size, I probably would have been a Hall of Famer. But my brother and I had a bet coming down here. How many times do you think I'm going to hear smoke this weekend? But I'll tell you right now, y'all, again, Daryl said it, Calvin said it, we've heard it all night. The brotherhood that was created here in Jackson has been very special. And again, Con, it's because of you and your family, Bill, all y'all, Mike, you guys did it special here for all of us. And again, I just want to say thank you for that. It was very special because the reason why it was so special, I was here for 3 years. 3 years, 85, 86, and 87. And they actually made me part of their family. And I felt a part of the family, and I really never did want to leave, unless I got to come and go to the show. But again, I have enjoyed it, and that's about all I'm going to say. Now, if you need a story, I can give you a story. Everybody need a story?
Yep.
All right, here we go. The story I have is we were playing up in Arkansas. And that particular game, again, we had 3-game series up there. And that one particular game, it was bingo night. And Arkansas had really good prizes. We've been there before, and we started thinking about it. And as we got prepared for the game got started. We're watching the game. The clubhouse boy, we whistled for the clubhouse boy to come on down to the bullpen. And we said, hey, we need some bingo cards. And sure enough, he did. He ran and got some bingo cards. And they're calling out between innings, B9, G, whatever. And after a couple of innings, none of us were pitching because whoever was starting that game, I can't even remember. Whoever started was having a great game. So we were enjoying ourselves down the bullpen. And all of a sudden they called this one more number. And I looked at my card and I went, holy cow, guys, we got a bingo. We got a bingo. Hey, get that clubhouse boy down here. Sure enough, we waited for it, but hey, don't let Sam see it. Don't let Sam know we got this stuff on. He'll kill us. So here we get the clubhouse boy down there, and he comes running down and says, hey, dude, we got a bingo. Run this thing up that stairwell. And you guys, if you've been to Arkansas, remember that stairwell that went up into that press box? Looked like a daggone slide. Well, we watched him run up that stairwell. He gets up in there. We're like, man, what do you think we want? What do you think, man? What do you think we want? I have no idea. All of a sudden, here he comes. He has got a box this big, that wide, about like this. He's coming down the stairwell. We got, hey guys, you see what he's got? We cannot let Sam see this. We're going to get a buzz. He's going to make us run all day tomorrow. Here he comes. He's coming through the stands. He's coming in the back way. And we told the kids, stop right there, right at the stands. Don't, stay right there. Give me your jacket. Give me your jacket. All right, stay right there. We ran over there, put the jacket over it. Just kind of moved over to the back of our bench. Watched the rest of the game, had a great time. Ball game's over. Hey, great job. Hey. We're just walking with our jackets, holding this back. Come on, man, let's go. And we're walking this thing in, and Sam had no clue. What it was a big old Budweiser mirror. It was beautiful. But the biggest thing was we did not want the man to know. We knew our butts were going to be running that next day. So anyway, again, thank y'all. Appreciate it. This has been a great event. Love everybody.
Randy Myers, I played a little bit in 84, a little bit in 85. I live in Washington State. I'm unemployed. Really no stories. I was a starter back then, and so one of the things was Maloney said, if you have a good start, they'll give you a VCR. And had a good start and got the VCR. And Next day, Sam, after that, tried looking for me, and he looks out, and I'm out there selling the VCR out of my car. Well, the lawyers come up and say, "What are you doing?" I go, "Well, I don't have a TV." So the next day, I come in the locker room, I had a TV. There, you put down your VCR, I said, "I sold my VCR yesterday." They wouldn't give me the TV or the VCR. So that was you know, I want to thank you come in here and you're like a family. And part of it is the Haywards and the Quattlebaum, so thanks for being part of the family. And I want to also thank 82 alum Daryl Strawberry, because one of the things the Mets had was when you got to the big leagues, one of the veterans had to put you under the wing. And so Straw, he said, "Okay, I'll take rock," and he came up with the term, "That's just rock." So every time I got in trouble, he said, "That's just rock." So thanks for paying the fines, and appreciate it. That's all I have.
Sam, you need to rebut any of the stories.
Yes, sir. First of all, I think after you're listening to all these guys and everyone else that's in the room here, we deserve a standing ovation. This is the most competitive group of players I've been around, and the workers and staffs have been the best I've been around also. Let's give ourselves a hand.
Woo!
I guess I didn't manage too badly. All I had to worry about was pee and bingo. So that's not bad. This guy, Daryl Strawberry, he used to get me in trouble about once every other game. Every time he hit a homer, what do you do, Straw? Come on over here. You ever see Straw hit a homer, come around third base? Bang! And then I had to go back to the third base coach while the other team was sitting there yelling at me. "You give him that there? You did that?" And I said, "Don't throw the pitch then." And Mr. Myers, down here, he was down as a starter with me. Highly sought after, highly talented guy, right? Trying to get pitching done. So he was so concerned on the mound about the pitch he threw, I wasn't sure he was thinking enough about the next pitch he should be throwing. So he'd throw a pitch, it'd be a ball, he'd be running around the mound, and I'm thinking, Jesus, he can't possibly be thinking about what his next pitch is. So that went on for a little while, and I said, yeah, I gotta try to help him out with that. So I go over to him and I said, "Randy, I'm a little concerned about whether you're thinking about your next pitch, you know, because you're running back and forth around the mound." I said, "Just think ahead, calm down a little bit, and things will be okay." Okay, we get down to conversations. Shortly after that, he has a start. He throws 98 miles an hour, right? He throws 98. It's the first inning. And there's no reason for me to go out to the mound, except the fact that the opposing team is jerking him foul. They're pulling the ball over the field, not for hits, but they're out in front. And I'm going, first thing I do will go, he's got a sore arm. So I yell for the trainer. "You check Myers? Is he complaining about his arm?" "No." "Pitching coach, has he been complaining?" He says, "No." I call timeout. No reason for going, first inning, I'm going out to the mound, and I'm thinking, what am I going to say to him? Well, the first thing that he tells me I said was, I asked Barry, "How's he throwing?" Barry says, "I don't know, I haven't caught one yet." So I use a little reverse psychology, and I say, "All right, Randy, how long has your arm been hurt?" "Marm don't hurt." I said, "My ass it doesn't. They're jerking your ass foul." He says, "You told me to calm down." I said, "Forget it. Just let her fly, baby." And I'm not really mad about these two guys because they're Mike and Jeff here, right? But this guy here, show him your delivery when you finish.
Let's see, here.
And right there. I guarantee you one game he got hit in the ass 6 times. And after the 7th inning, I told him, "Go on in, it's enough, ice your butt down." What else I got here? You know, and he's shaking his head over there. Billy Fultz, right? Billy Fultz.
My wife's at home watching this.
That's okay. Well, he was one of our better starters usually, and we would count on him to carry us deep in the ball game. He was a little more senior guy, a few years older, but did a pretty damn good job for us. So he ran into a streak where he would give up some runs early, and we would come back on the team later. Take him out of the game, we'd score some runs. He didn't get a loss, the team would get a win. But it was like 4 or 5 times in a row. We're in Midland, Texas. So the pitching coach was Greg Pavlik. Y'all know Pav? So Pav was like, how many times is he going to get out of trouble? So I'm watching the game like this at the front of the dugout, and he got in a little trouble, so we thought we'd get someone ready. I said, "Pav, get Pert ready." He goes, "Huh?" Well, I don't look back at him, man. Evidently, I made the wrong choice. I said, "Well, get Vaughn ready." He goes, "Huh?" And I said, "Dang, who's he want?" "Give me Graves." He goes, "Huh?" I finally looked up at him. I said, "You want to leave him out there?" He said, "Yep." So we leave him out there. He holds them down. We score some runs. And they have this thing in Midland. It's a frog noise. Then when something comical happens, this frog noise goes ribbit, and you have to really hear it. So he gets in a little trouble, but he's still hanging in there, and they hit a chopper over the mound. He backs up to go get the ball, trips over the rubber, is laying flat on his back, and the ball's coming down. But it was a little bit further back. So he's scuffling on like this, trying to get the ball. And I finally go like this. I tell Pav, I said, "Go talk to him, would you?" So Pav heads out to the mound. He gets 2 steps from the dirt, and they put the frog on us. And Pav went just like this. Spun out. Billy's going, where'd he go? And I look at him saying, what the hell's Pav doing? His shoulders are shaking. And it isn't until he gets close that I realize he's laughing so hard. He can't do it. So now him and I are at the front end of the dugout next to each other with tears coming down because we're laughing so hard. Do I have one more, Lemmy? I think I'm good. You got it. Thank you.
Hey, you got. I was wondering if you had any curfew stories.
She wants to know if you had any curfew stories.
Every time we checked bed check, the beds were there.
Make it yes, right?
That's right.
Carrie, somebody do an imitation?
Oh, yeah. If we could have Mr. Lockenmeyer do his Lenny Dykstra imitation.
Where's Mark?
Right here.
All right, well, Lenny and I...
Give him the mic.
Hold on. Lenny and I had a little relationship in Jackson. He liked me or something. So I used to love to coach first base. I almost coached every time I wasn't pitching unless I had to do the gun. And Lenny gets up and he hits a double. He scoots around first, the helmet's flying. Lenny's all over the place, slides. So I go out and get the helmet and I bring it over to Lenny. And everybody knows how Lenny talks. Shit! I smoked that ball, didn't I? He left it right up there. I go, Lenny, there's a fucking blast in it. It's great. And then I look up and there's tobacco juice all over my new white shirt. And then I go to the clubhouse and couldn't get it clean. So I had another story with Lenny. We were in Midland, Texas. I don't know what's going on with Midland, but there was a ping pong table there. And I was a decent ping pong player, so Lenny had to beat me. And Lenny, to get incentivized, liked to bet. So I was up $5,000 at 4:30 in the morning. And I had to lose one. So I lose one, he goes, shit, you lost that on purpose. Let's go again. And so we played for about another 2 or 3 hours. I'm up about $2,000. I said, that's it, Lenny. He goes, shit, I'll see you in the morning.
Oh, God.
The gentleman who just spoke, he just wanted to say thank you for those shirts. They were tremendous. Hopefully, most of you got them. Mark there, they'll all the time. Are we in good shape on the baseball?
Did everybody sign the baseballs?
Did everybody get them? All right. Thank you, guys. We're almost done. See, look at Sam. He had nothing to worry about. Hey, I think we might have forgotten some people. We have 3 trainers in the room. Come on up. Yeah. They're the ones who kept you guys healthy and playing the game. All right, you guys know the routine. And we want to hear who the babies were in the training room, okay?
Rick Rader, I live in St. Petersburg, Florida now. I was here in 1984.
I'm Bob Sykes. I was here in 81 and 82. I live in Fort Walton Beach, Florida now.
I'm Larry Mail. I'm living in Largo. I was here first year, 75, 76, and 77. And then I went to Tidewater and New York.
All right, you guys have any stories? And since they have no stories, you guys are going to tell the stories about that. Okay, go ahead.
Larry, would you like to go?
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Be kind.
You got notes? You got notes?
Bob's thinking really hard on this one.
No, he's looking for his witness on my list. No. All right. I'm going to have to go off.
Yeah, I'll give it to him.
Okay. Oh, we found it? Oh, good. Oh, good. Yeah, it's a cheat sheet. I just want to make sure I don't forget anybody. I've decided what I really need to do here today is give out thanks and forgiveness. Okay, there's some people that definitely need to be thanked a lot. First on my list is Rick Poe. Where are you? Rick Poe. Rick, I want to thank you for contracting mononucleosis and in 1981, and what it did was it hastened my elevation to the Jackson Mets franchise. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Also, I'd like to thank Rick Rayner, my good friend Rick Rayner, for coming in and taking over for me in Lynchburg and serving as Gene Dussaint's trainer, a job I wasn't really enjoying as much as I thought I might. And, well, Darryl was there too. So, Rusty Tillman. Rusty, where are you? Rusty, are you here? Have you left yet?
Back there.
Rusty.
Right there.
Rusty. Hey man, I want to thank you because you gave me more stories to tell yesterday than anybody else, none of which I feel comfortable sharing today. Randy Myers. Randy Myers. You opened the door earlier for this. You opened the door for this. Randy, I'm here today to forgive you. I'm here today to forgive you for 1985, my rookie year in New York as trainer, for you blowing me up and tackling me when I had to lead everybody around the field on the lap. And you did it twice. But I've recently learned, because you told me, that you only did it because Darryl Strawberry told you to do it. Okay. Now, if for some reason we find that's not true, we'll revisit the issue at another day. Darryl, I will forgive you mostly for that, basically for that home run in Game 7 against the Red Sox to put it away that made me least wealthy for a few months. Larry Mayo. I need to thank you too as well, Larry. Many of you all know Larry, and I know this probably better than anybody. There's a revolving door of trainers that serve in the New York Mets for the Major League franchise, a revolving door. In fact, there's so much of a revolving door, there's license plates out there that say honk if you've ever been fired as Mets trainer. And so I'd like to thank Larry furthermore for doing his part in a brave fashion. I want to thank Larry for doing the right thing and throwing Dick Young out of the training room and suffering the indignation of having a nasty article written about him. I'd like to also point out that neither Steve Garland nor I attempted the same stunt. And so, thank you, Larry. One of the reasons I'm here. Is there anybody else on the list? No. But what I do want to do, I want to thank the Maloney family, and I want to thank the Faders for what you guys made this place into being. For all of us here, this was a home. You guys made this a home. And we appreciate it. It's one of the reasons why we're here today, and we feel like as we do today. Thank you.
Jackson has a special place in my heart, but the Maloney family, they were an integral part in the start of this family that's here tonight. Because I was here in 1975, 76, and 77. There's some special people that are not here tonight. Johnny Antonelli, Rick Kernan. A lot of people were instrumental in getting this off to a good start. When we came here, the lights weren't operating. We played games at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. It was hot, extremely hot. But you know, I was telling Currents and people at my table tonight that I realized who the love of my life was. She's not here tonight. And I called her after one of the games in Johnny Antonelli's office to say that, well, I didn't really propose because I was scared to death. I said, I just can't go another year without this situation. So I said it about 3 times, and she finally said, are you asking me to marry you? And I said, yeah, well, we just celebrated 45 years. There are some people that are no longer with us that had instrumental effect upon my life. Bobby Myrick, Hattiesburg, Mississippi, you know, Johnny Antonelli, all those people were very, very, very instrumental, but they, especially Bobby, he had a great influence on me because he challenged me to come to a revelation of knowing who Jesus was. And he asked me some serious questions that eventually led to me becoming a believer. And it forever changed my life. It gave me the purpose that I've always been looking for, because we're all getting older, but we all have to ask ourselves the question, when we take that last breath, are we ready to meet our Maker? And he challenged me with that. And, you know, he challenged me with the fact that he said, if you never picked up the Bible, pick it up and read it, because there's hope and there's eternal life when you come to know that. And I thank every one of you that are here tonight, and everyone that put this together. Tremendous job. And the Maloney's, you always have a special part in my heart. Thank you.
Like anybody that offered this as well, we know we've talked about some people who have passed. Shadroll, how many of you guys remember Shadroll? I saw that he has also passed. Anybody else have anybody you want to mention today that we keep in their thoughts?
Stan Massingale.
Stan Massingale. John Cumberland. Today's a special day, and it's a special weekend. So keep them in your thoughts. We've talked about Bill, obviously. So for me personally, there's somebody I need to thank. It's my wife, Patty. She's always been behind the scenes and in front of the scenes. So she's been a partner in my journey. So Patty, let me thank you. All right, we forgot a few years. 87 through 90. Come on up. How many 87 through 90? Mickey. And you can come up too.
That was my last one.
Wow, here we go. Look at Mickey. Look at the grown groups.
Wow.
You're part of 87 through 90. How's it going?
All right, how you guys doing? Good, good. Anyways, my name is Ray Bergdahl. I'm from Long Beach, California. I was here in 86, 87. First of all, I want to thank the Maloney family. You guys are like a big family. I was traded from Seattle to the Mets, came to Lynchburg in 85, came here in 86, 87, and the family atmosphere, the guys I played with, I still stay in touch with them today. You know, and when people say, where'd you play? I always go, Jackson Mets. I always bring the Mets up first because it was a special thing for me here and my play here at Jackson. So thank you, Maloney family, for everything and all the guys I played with.
And it was a real privilege for me to have 3 years here, 86, 87, and 88. And I had said that I would run for mayor if I came back. Actually, Mickey Weston, and I was a pitcher here, and in 88, actually in Shreveport, I was labeled as the grandfather of the Texas League. But it was really a great joy. I want to thank the Maloney family. Con, we could not have survived all those bus trips without the VHS tapes that you supplied, and 25 times that I watched Top Gun.
The wives weren't real happy, but
No, and Mike, it was just a joy with you and Patty the first 2 years, and then I got reunited with Bill and Judy because I started back in 83, my first full season with them in Columbia, and then got reunited in 88 with them. And just, you guys have great servant hearts and served us well, all of you did. And I'm grateful that for the time here of a couple of teammates that really special guys that were roomies, and Kurt Lundgren. Kurt and I haven't seen each other in about 34 years. We've stayed in touch, but to be able to get together and
and I'm glad I don't smell the DMSO anymore. But Jay Tibbs, what a joy. He and his wife Renee ministered to us. But really it's the relationships that you remember in the game. You can have a lot of different experiences on the field. I got a broken ankle here on a line drive with the guys. Thanks to your VCR, Con, they played it over and over about 100 times to see if I would catch the ball, and I never did. But it really was the relationships that I remember. Developing the relationships with these guys and to be able to come back and Smoke calling me Reverend Ike right off the bat. And,
amen.
That's what you treasure. And throughout the game, Samuel was my first manager when I came to Little Falls. Didn't have the privilege to have him again, but I'm just thankful, grateful to the Lord for what He has done in my life, how He changed it and allowed me to impact others. And it's been a privilege to be here this weekend.
I'm from Dunwoody, Georgia. My wife Joni is here. I joined the Mets in 1986. I found out tonight that I'm probably Carrie's least favorite Met because Joe Redfield and I were traded for each other. So I'm sorry that I was the cause of Joe leaving town. Anyway, we got traded for each other, and when I arrived at the Mets, my first roommate was Jeff Innes.
The I-Man.
The I-Man, that's right. But I can remember, being traded is a traumatic thing. I was drafted by the Orioles, so I was in the Orioles organization, and it was early in '86, and I called into the manager's office, after the game, and said, "You got traded." Of course, I dropped my head, and then he said, "Well, you got traded to the Mets," and the Mets were my childhood team. Back in the amazing Mets and the miracle Mets. And in fact, first 11 years before we moved to Georgia, we lived in New York. Yankees fan or Mets fan, and I grew up a Mets fan.
Praise God.
Yes, exactly, right. And I mean, I thought that I had died and gone to heaven, and I was going to be in the Mets organization. And to wear the Mets uniforms, the Mets. With the pinstripes, I always thought that was the coolest uniform ever going. And so to come to Jackson and, as everybody said, to be part of the family here,